Shemai GTA chums, I'm going to go through a top 10 of essential vehicles in GTA Online. I'm going to go roughly from kind of least essential to most essential. So all the ones that you essentially want to buy first are going to be last, as in first place. So without further ado, let's have a look at some mopeds. So the Pegasi Batty 801. This is one of the fastest bikes in the game for racing. You can do time trials in it. It only costs 15 grand, and you can call it from your motorbike club as well if you have an MC club, and it's insta spawn. It'll just spawn right next to you. In fact, I'll do that now. No, I won't do that now because you already know about all that. I don't need to talk you through basic stuff, do I? If you pop wheelies, that's how you get your speed on this bike. It's highly competitive. One of the top fastest bikes in the entire game, and the cheapest as well. So for that reason, it's an essential. So you're going to get from A to B on the ground, and you're going to have a good time while you're doing it, because it's a lot of fun to drive, it's easy to drive, and that is why you want to get the Batty 801. That's at number 10. In at number 9, let's say you're getting griefed by somebody, PvP, somebody who's much better than you. Why don't you go to your inventory and just get out your remote control vehicle? So you can pick RC personal vehicles, or we can pick an RC tank. We also have the RC Bandito. Now the RC tank mini tank costs 2.3 million. It's the Invade and Persuade tank. You can get it from Warstock Cash and Carry. It's got weapons, it can blow stuff up. It's brilliant for that reason. Look at that, nice. It doesn't appear on the map as a radar, so they're not going to see you coming. So anybody who's beating you at PvP, you can just get in this and go and attack them, and they won't see you. The only bad thing, I suppose, is that once you get out of the tank, it's going to respawn you exactly where you just came from. And it's very powerful. You upgrade it with this plasma cannon, that's the best one. You can also put missiles on a flamethrower, which are alright, but not as good. So that is the RC tank, but let's have a look at the RC tank, the Invade and Persuade tank. If you get out of it, there's going to be a cooldown. So look at it, 3-star wanted level still. Actually, let's get rid of our vehicle, and let's get the next tank out. So inventory and remote control. Notice there's a cooldown of 2 minutes, but then you can just get your RC Bandito out. Now this is cheaper. It costs 1.6 million, and you can do Bandito races as well. It's not as offensive because it doesn't have a gun on it, but it does have a bomb. So as soon as you hit that bomb, you're obviously going to get out of it. People can't see you again on the radar, so this is probably the first one that you will buy out of the two. So you want to blow someone up? Let's have a look. Where's the button? Can't remember. Oh, you can do jumps as well. You can do jumps in the tanks as well. Yay! So this is an essential in many ways, but not an essential right away, I'm sure. For these, you'll need an arena workshop for the RC Bandito, but the tank, you can just get that and you can upgrade it. Onwards to the next one, shall we? In at number 8, the Toreador. This came out with the Cayo Perico heist, and as such you can store it in your Kazaka submarine, which saves you a garage slot. It's got guns, and it's got missiles too, but the missiles are unlimited. It's a submersible, I should say that. That's one of the important things, but not the most important. Change to missiles, so these missiles are pretty good. Pretty damn good indeed. Let's press the boost. It's like a 70s car, it's got a 70s style suspension, yeah, but it's also super fast, and it's a great counter to the Mark II oppressor because it's got Ruiner missiles, so the best missiles in the game, and it can destroy oppressor Mark IIs, especially now the Mark II's been nerfed. I think unless the Mark II's behind you, which is very unlikely, it's not going to get you really. It's unlikely they're going to come off better in most scenarios now, but yeah, it's a great vehicle. It goes underwater as well. It's got that, as soon as the police come out, we're going to blow some of them up as well. It's got armor resistance as well. You can take a few Mark II missiles. So look at that. That is proper bow selective missiles there, isn't it? They just go up and curve around like nobody's business. Oh, it's locking on the people, the police. But the missiles as well are unlimited, even though they shouldn't be really. You can see the missiles in the front of the car. They just never run out. Unlike the what is it? The James Bond one, the Lotus Esprit. Yes, the Stromberg. So it's better than the Stromberg, and you've got 4 seats in it, unlike the Stromberg as well. But boost-wise, we can do a boost, and we can get in the water, get in the sea. That's where you belong. Press X and hold X, or whatever you hold on the controller. Have we got it? I don't know. And we'll escape the police. Oh, that took a bit longer than normal. Press and hold X. Oh, have we got it? H to switch. Oh right, sorry. X is something else. I'm pressing the wrong button. That's why it's not working. H is submersible mode. But we can do the boost as well, even when we're underwater. So it's the fastest underwater vehicle in the game. You can do this dolphin maneuver, and it's just so much fun. Look at that boost, and we can go and put it in our Kazaka. It's got it all, the Toreador. It's 3.66 million from Warstock Cash and Carry. It's quite expensive, but for what you get, you know, it's worth it. It's going to be worth it. If you're used to coming across Mark II griefers and you want to sort them out, this is the one to do. I mean, yes, you could get a Mark II oppressor, but it's nerfed now. It's not worth it. There's a vehicle better than the Mark II oppressor for doing mostly what that does. And if you want to do griefing, maybe this is a griefing vehicle. I don't know. It's probably more difficult than the Mark II oppressor, in fairness, to do griefing with, but it's still an excellent vehicle. So yeah, check that out. That's number 8, the Toreador. At number 6 we have the Akula, the Russian stealth helicopter. Now you press stealth by pressing H. That puts away your weapons so you can't fire up on anybody. But it is such a beast. I'm off radar now, you can tell by the flashing symbol on the map there. And you can just sneak up on people and sabotage them, or you can run away from people by losing your map status. They can't find you unless they see you. It's quite a reasonably big helicopter, so they can spot you from distance perhaps, but at least it makes it a lot more difficult for them. It can take a few missiles as well from the Mark II oppressor. I think it can take 2 or 3. Speaking about missiles, we just get them out. It's got missiles on it, it's got a few upgrades on it. Missile wise, you've got these little chummies. These are lock-on missiles. They're not bad. They've got a decent. You can take down the oppressor Mark II with them. I have done that, and I've had a 1v1 battle. So it's not as if they are the worst at tracking in the world, and they'll no doubt be a lot better than the oppressor Mark II now that that's been nerfed. As well as those, you have the old machine guns. So I've upgraded this to a double machine gun, which is one of the upgrades you can do. It's also got bombs on it as well. It's got all sorts of crazy stuff. Where's it gone? Come on, machine gun. Yeah, it can be a bit tricky handling wise, but it's not bad, you know. Let's have a look. If I can get it on target, that is. Okay, machine guns for double machine guns aren't doing a great deal there, but they're alright, you know. I think I'll go back to missiles, they're a bit easier. Even better than that, you can go to oh, helicopter. We're gonna have a bit of action on that. This is the best helicopter in the game. That's why it's in here. The best. Well, the best for battle, for combat. Fun. It can take a lot of missiles. Well, as I said, but you've also got the stealth mode, which gives it the edge over other things. It's also one of the fastest helicopters as well. Not as fast as a Hunter, but it's pretty damn quick. What else have we got? We've got bombs, so let's open the bomb bay doors. Look at that, how crazy is that? It's got stealth mode, it's got bombs. It's probably one of the most well-equipped air vehicles in the game. So definitely worth considering. And the cost of it, 2.8 million, it's not bad. But on discount, it's going to be even better. Also, the other thing is it can seat 4 players, including yourself, so compared to other helicopters, combat helicopters, that is excellent. I think you will agree. Anyway, that is the Akula. An excellent helicopter, but next we have the old gears down, and we're going to go and see if we can find this number 6. If we can, if we don't lose our propellers. Great stuff. In at number 6, no surprises here, it's the Hydra. And this is the VTOL aircraft based on the... what's it based on? I should know this one. Here we go. Just try to concentrate. UK aircraft. Press E to get out of VTOL. The Harrier jump jet, of course. It's got, as I just demonstrated there, the explosive rounds, which will just destroy everything. Oh, it doesn't have a great deal of damage resistance. It's really not got a great deal of armour at all, less than the Akula even. As you can see, I'm smoking already. But what it does have is ability to destroy a lot of the vehicles on the ground, armoured targets. So if you think you're safe in an Insurgent Pickup Custom or a Night Shark, not so. You can get this thing coming up against you, it can blow you to smithereens. Similarly to the Imani Tech vehicles, you know, they've got the lock-on jammers, and this has missiles as well. But obviously when the missiles fail, you just use the old explosive cannon, and I'd use the explosive cannon as a first port of call. This vehicle is a Pegasus vehicle, so you can call it for $200, but then as soon as you store it in your hangar, it's yours, you own it. So you can have it as an owned vehicle and a Pegasus vehicle, which means you can have 2 out in one go. So you can give one to a chum, or you fly the other one. So 2 for the price of 1, that is an excellent bargain. And it costs $3 million, quite expensive again from Warstock Cash and Carry, but if you get a discount on it, it is going to be excellent value for money. Either way, it's one of the best value jets in the game, definitely, except for the weakness of the armour. But the VTOL makes it very useful for missions because you can land it anywhere. You can land it on that rooftop if you want to. Anywhere whatsoever you want to, you're going to land it. You can just eject. It's a Warstock. It's a free vehicle. If it was a personal vehicle, all these planes only cost $1,000 to get a new one, basically, from the insurance company. What else about this jet? It's known for griefing. Griefers use it all the time. So it's going to no doubt feature again and become more like the meta because of the nerf of the Mark II oppressor. But you can also use it for air combat. There's that VTOL manoeuvre that acts as a way of avoiding the jets. That was an excellent landing, wasn't it? But it's an excellent vehicle. You want to get it basically at some point. If you're not into flying things, obviously it's not going to be for you. So that is number 6, the Hydra. The Insurgent Pickup Custom at number 5. If you press and hold the get in button, you can operate the cannon on top. Now this is an upgraded cannon. It's like a minigun cannon, so you will actually need the MOC kind of business to upgrade it for a start, or the Avenger with the weapon vehicle workshop. But you also need the bunker to research this upgrade particularly, and it's absolutely devastating. As you can tell, it will destroy anything. So if you've got a chum on top driving around in this, well, you can do some griefing if you really want to, but you can defend yourself basically. So that is the immense cannon. This costs you only 1.3 million from Warstock Cash and Carry. Let's get in and have a little drive and show you some of the other features. So 1.3 million is a steal. It's a Pegasus vehicle, but if you put it in your MOC, you can convert it into a personal vehicle and put mines on it. I mean, the mines are just supreme. These are what separates it, really, the mines, from any other armoured vehicle like this. Like, you've got the Night Shark, that's an alternate, 1.2 million, but this is better than the Night Shark. You can put mines on it. These mines will blow up stuff that's chasing you, including fellow Insurgent Pickup Customs, or or you can blow up the Night Shark, which has a similar armour. So armour-wise, you're looking at, it'll take 27 Mark II oppressor missiles, and let's face it, they're never going to get 27 on you anymore, simply because they haven't got the lock-on ability. They need to be following directly behind you to do that, and if you're slightly weaving, they're going to miss you with those missiles. It's pretty quick as well for an off-roader, and it looks like an off-roader, doesn't it? But it's this pickup, but it's rear-wheel drive, I think, but it's not actually four-wheel drive, unfortunately. That's the only bad thing about it. But then again, you know, it off-roads like a Mofreaker. It's very good at off-roading. It can ford streams. It can do everything. So, for those reasons, you're going to buy it. Yes, the Night Shark is slightly faster, has slightly better handling, but the handling on this is excellent, you know, for what it is. Look at that, you can just go, you can get around corners, you can run away from people if you want to. It was my prime runaway people vehicle. Now, with the Insurgents, I'm also including an alternate. You could have the Insurgent, the standard Insurgent, which doesn't have a gun on top. So if you don't have a chum to put in on the gun, then that is the one to go for. It's only 400 grand, so definitely excellent value there, just on the standard Insurgent. But it's an essential. One of those is an essential, but this one for me is the ultimate essential. Buy this when you can afford it. You're never going to regret it. You can put a chum in. What I should say about weapons before, right, shelter inside. So I can use my hand weapons. You see that? But they can shoot me through the back, through the sides. There is limited protection from that level 2, I think that is window protection. If you put no protection on all, you can use sticky bombs, I think, but I've not got it on this one. Oh, I'm getting killed. You see what I mean? You can get killed in it. This is why there is a car better for PVE, if that's what you're into. So you wouldn't want to be using this one in PVE. Because of that reason. They're going to kill you at some point with their insta-kill. Next weapon vehicle, eh? Next we have the MOC. So this is where you want to go to modify your Insurgent Pickup Custom, etc. And that's not the only reason. I am going to review this as a video as well. It's at number 4 for 1.2 million, but you do need the bunker, which will cost you about 1.6. So you can do all the upgrades, you know, armor plating, we can change that to heavy or 0, that kind of thing. But that's not the only thing it does. Exit the vehicle, and I'm going to show you what else we've got in here. We have a weapons workshop, so over here we can access this and we can do all of our Mark II weapon upgrades and buy the ammunition for Mark II weapons as well. And if we pop through here, we can access some little missions as well, which are quite fun. They are worth doing, these missions. They'll get you discounts on all these vehicles, such as the not MOC, that is the APC. That is another essential vehicle, believe it or not, but it's not fit in the top 10 because it's more like a PvP 2-player jobby, and it's quite expensive as well. So let's get out to the trailer and show you what the actual cab itself offers. So this is the Phantom version variant, and if we press, I think it's E or H, yeah, H to decouple, it will give us a bit more speed when we're driving around. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this as being the primary reason for purchasing the MOC is because it'll take 67 Mark II oppressor missiles. Yes, I know the oppressor has been nerfed, but 67 Mark II oppressors, and it's got the dual function of giving you all that adaptability of customizing weapons and vehicles, and it's pretty quick as well. I'd definitely go for this one rather than the hauler one. I think the hauler one's on discount this week, but well, for one day only now. But this is faster by far, and I think it looks better, and it can take, I think it might be able to take more missiles, but it's more survivable. You can put your bulletproof tires on, I think. We'll just double check that. I think you have to actually, you can adjust this, so you can modify this in your bunker, so that's where you need to put your bulletproof tires on. It's as stock, it does not come with bulletproof tires, so let's just double check I've put them on, because I didn't put them on for ages. There you go, bulletproof. They will not be bulletproof when you set off with this. So for that reason, it's an essential vehicle, and I think it's a combination of all those things. So it's a bit of a cheat for position number 4, but position number 3 is not a cheat, so let's look at number 3, shall we? In at number 3 is the champion. No, it's not. Unfortunately, it's not. It should be the champion, but that's 3 million, isn't it? Champion. Unfortunately, for the price reasons only, it is the Buffalo STX. It's a great car. It's a muscle car. It looks great. And most of all, it's got Imani tech. And that's why you're purchasing this, specifically for the missile lock-on jammer, which costs you 400 grand. Listen to that engine, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful car though, and it does the wheelies so good as well. So this is competitive in the muscle class. It's #1 for muscle car fans who do muscle car racing. Not only that, you've got the Imani Tech. It's got bulletproof windows, which will take 15 or 16 bullets. And you also have the slick mines, which cost 135 grand, I think. I'll show you what they do right now. So the matey's just driven over them. And let's turn. We can't turn. So if somebody's chasing you, NPC or player, you just put your slick mines down behind on them and you'll smash them. But in most cases they won't keep up if you're in the Buffalo STX anyway. And they certainly won't hit you with a missile because it's got a lock-on jammer. Very unlikely. I mean, nobody's ever hit me with a missile in this car because it's got a lock-on jammer. They need to do manual targeting. Mark II presses, that's what we're talking about. Yes, it's been nerfed, but if you just want to be left alone in session, get on with your business, this is the vehicle to do it in. It has guns as well, so you can use some offensive ability without losing your bulletproof windows. Obviously, if you use your drive-by weapons, then you're going to lose your bulletproof windows. Look at that chum. Oh, they're having a bad time. Where's the police when you need them? Ah, nice. Very nice indeed. Oh, there they are. Come on, police. Whatever reasons, it's just great, isn't it? It's just an excellent car, got great customization, and it's got Imani Tech. But the Champion does that as well, so if the Champion's on discount for 2 million, then get that, for example. But this costs 1.6 million when you have the discount of buying the agency, basically. And I think to buy this car, the agency is essential, so you want to get the agency 1.5 million at its entry level or something like that for an agency. Just buy it and then buy this car. That's the steps you go to. So really, you're talking just over 3 million to get the agency and the car, and then more like 3.5 million to get your Imani Tech on there, the essential lock-on jammer. But let's see how it does against the police. The problem with the gun actually on this car is that it's low level. So as you can see, it's not shooting people out of cars, but it will set cars alight. Brilliant stuff, brilliant. And yeah, it drives so smoothly, it corners excellent. You can race this thing. The cornering ability, the lap time is brilliant on it. I've not got my lap times up on me, so I can't remember what it got. But that's not what this video is about really. It's really about survivability in session and allowing you to just get on with your business, escape the griefers. Now, don't get me wrong, as I've mentioned, the Hydra will blow you up within a short period of time with its explosive rounds, but you can survive one pass because the first off it'll throw you into the air. So if they don't have a good targeting of you, then you might survive one pass at the Hydra in order to run away and escape. That is possible, but I wouldn't count on it with a good Hydra pilot. They're going to nail you every time. But that's the same with every vehicle in the game. So that's the Buffalo STX, and obviously, you know, fans of the Charger or Challenger, one of those, are going to want it as well. So that reason, for both those reasons, you're going to want to buy it. Definitely essential car. Or one of the Imani Techs is. Get one of them. Also in the agency, I store my armoured Kuruma, and this is some kind of dream car for PVE. It's not for PvP, that is a proviso. It is the best in class at PvE though. So if we get the police out yet again, if that's possible, I'll show you exactly what I mean. And it's reasonably quick. It's four-wheel drive. It's based on the Mitsubishi Evo X, I think. Very nice car. And there's not really any other Evos in the game, is there? So this is the only one at the moment. I'm sure they're going to release one at some point because it's really heavily needed. But this is the one. No, it really is. It looks great. It's got that armour on it, which you may or may not like. Police are onto us here. Shouldn't have killed him, sorry guys. I was going to show you the kind of armour it's got. But remember, you know those missions with auto-targeting where they just nail you every time? From ridiculous directions? This is the car to use for those. I mean, what are they doing, these police? Come on. So, they can shoot all day, they're not going to get me. They got a shotgun on me there. They got all sorts. You know, just take your time, guys. In your own time. Kill me if you fancy it. I mean, it's not invincible, you know, but it gives you the time to get them killed. You know, that you can be the worst PVE player in the world and you can still get by with this. It's fast enough. The reason why it isn't a PvP car is because it can only take one missile, one. So you're never, ever, 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 ever going to use it PvP. So that is why it's at number 2, solely for PvE. I've used this in the latest missions, the agent ULC, and I found it invaluable. I also used it when I was grinding the agencies to get my levels up on that. With some of the gang assassination missions, it's ideal. You just assassinate them all really, really quickly. You want to see the all-wheel driveness to it? You don't believe me? But look at that, what a beauty, what a beauty. Beautiful car as well. It's not, the only downside I suppose is it's not got a lot of customization. Unlike the modern Imani techs, they have lovely customization on them. But it's a great car, and it's not the fastest, but it's fast enough to get you from A to B. You know, it's not a supercar. I think people have ridiculous expectations of cars these days and criticise this for being slow, which it isn't a slow car, it really isn't. But it's not of the same level of some of the higher level tuners class cars, which I think they weren't comparing them to, but they do, and it's frustrating really. Anyway, that is the armoured Kuruma, 500 grand, but it's only I think 300 grand if you do the what's it called, the mission, the original heist. I can't remember the name of it now, but it's a 2-person heist, so very easy to do. The very first heist you do from your apartment. So that is the Kuruma. So which is the number 1 vehicle? Well, it's not the Torero XO. It's not any of the new vehicles. It's not the Buzzard either. So that means it's going to be... yes, the Sparrow. As she blows, very similar to the Buzzard, similar performance, similar weaponry, but one key difference is that you don't need to be in a CEO to call it. Well, actually you can have a personal Buzzard as well, but you can call it wherever you want and it just spawns in a really close location. So for that reason, it's the best one, isn't it? It's great for grinding, for doing all your setups, and it's so convenient for the KO Perico heist. You know, it's the best vehicle for the setups for that particular heist, and it's got pretty good missiles. It's not got a massive amount of survivability because it's got paper thin armor, but it is good for what you need it for, because you know most NPCs aren't really a problem. So for that reason, it's a great vehicle. Maybe I'll show some PVE if you fancy it. If the police want to come out, there we go. See if we can lock onto that. Oh, it curved around a little bit and nearly got him then. But yeah, give it a good chance. Take it from above. Nice. There's one coming towards us there, not quite as good. Reminds me of the Mark II Oppressor. I mean, a lot of people say the Mark II Oppressor is good for grinding, but now the missiles aren't any better than the Sparrows. And the Sparrow only costs 1.8 million. And the Kazatka, you need to get the Kazatka for it because that's where you store it. But that only costs you 2.2 million. Overall, the Kazatka and the Sparrow are cheaper than a Mark II Oppressor because you need the missiles with a Mark II Oppressor. So you need a nightclub, and because you need a nightclub to get your terabyte. And once you have your terabyte, you can put missiles on the Mark II Oppressor because it doesn't come with them. It's pretty useful without useless without the missiles of the Mark II Oppressor. Also, it's not as convenient for the KO Perico heist. I mean, it took a bit of a smash there, doesn't it? But it's not even smoking yet. It's not so bad. So the other reason is you can just rock up to your submarine, and when you come to land it, you just press E, just like in a CEO office. Very, very easily, very convenient, and it's a real vehicle as well. It's a real helicopter, and you can fly it around the map. It's pretty quick as well. It's as quick as the Buzzard. It's not the quickest helicopter, but it's one of the quickest helicopters. You'll get around the map really rapidly with it, so it's not a problem. You can now go ahead and do your heist, for example. But we're going to go in it and have another bit of a fly around. And this is the moon pool, where it's or moon hangar, whatever you want to call it, where it's stored. And here's the internal view if you fancy a bit of that. Maybe not, but it's a great vehicle. It really is. You put the missiles on, and everything's golden. There's no massive paywall. Like the Kazaka submarine, that could be argued is number one because you need it. You need to do the Cayo Perico heist. It's the biggest paying heist, even though there's now a 1,000,000 hour cooldown. It's still something you need to be doing to make money. It's the best way of making money in the game. You know, so with that in mind, this makes the Cayo Perico heist so much more efficient, and it's essential for that heist if you're going to do it long term as a thing. If you hate the Cayo Perico heist, fair enough, don't get it. But I still think it's better than the Mark II oppressor because the cooldown for this vehicle is a couple of minutes, I think. Let's have a look and find out what the cooldown is. I mean, Mark II oppressor, about 5 minutes. I mean, I suppose you could do the terabyte cheat, but let's have a look. Vehicles, services, Kozaka, Sparrow, so 2 minutes cooldown before we can request a new one. But ideally you'll have both, you know, you'll have the Oppressor, the Sparrow, or Buzzard, rather than the Oppressor, because the Buzzard was the old Oppressor. The Buzzard's also a good, mighty fine helicopter. It's exactly the same as a Sparrow. And it's pretty convenient as well, so you could use the two. Anyway, if you found this useful, then do let me know, give me a comment on that. And if you found that there's something missing in it that you think is great, what is your most essential vehicle, basically? I'd like to hear from you. But yeah, drop a like and a subscribe if you found it useful. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a most excellent day if you are playing this GTA.